All right, I think we're online. Anyways, hello everyone. Today we're gonna continue working on the Moped 3D as part of this project where I'm taking scenes from my city and I'm trying to transform them first to sketches and then to 3D Blender sketch style, like painterly style on top of grease pencil. You'll find more information about this on my Patreon. You can join, it's for free. There is a membership for $5, but this is not mandatory, it's just for support. And then in it, I'm trying to study like how to achieve creative living, how to study creativity, how to follow my curiosity and creative path, and just sharing this journey with you. It's all for free. You can go check it out. Give me your feedback, your comments. That would be totally appreciated. Anyways, we're gonna kick off where we left this yesterday. I was trying to work on this off stream, but then I decided not to. But I've seen some stuff that I can actually do just to make this look a bit better. So the idea is not to create the exact replicate of this. That's not the aim of this. The idea is to create the moped in a sketch style. I showed you yesterday an artist called Asusa Tojo. Let me see if I can find them now while I'm also opening the stream on my phone just to make sure that there is no lag and it's still running. I like to, whenever you see one viewer on my YouTube videos, live streams, that's just me. So let's be real. I just want to log in to make sure that it's running and what's the delay and where it is at. Okay, so there's a place where I should place my phone to get proper internet on this computer. And let me show you. Okay, that's from yesterday's search. So this is what is. Oh, I closed it by mistake. Again, let's do this again. Instagram. Search. Asus banana. All right. So let's go back to this. So basically, this is it. This is the inspiration, if you want. This is kind of, I don't know if this is 2D or 3D. I think there is 3D. Yeah, so maybe more like this. Like this is a 3D sketch. And this is like kind of the inspiration where this is coming from. Okay, so I'm not trying to recreate the whole details in here. That's not the point. I'm just trying to create a convincing moped that looks good as a 3D sketch. But also what I realized yesterday when I finished, actually I was kind of annoyed by it most of the time, that this part is too wide. The back part usually it's not that wide, at least from what I see when I'm driving. So just a little bit of proportion tweaking, much. So I constrained my movement to one axis to two. Like if you want, like in Blender, if you want to constrain your movement to one axis, you press G, you're moving, or scale or rotate or whatever. Then you press like the X, then it moves only the X, the Y it moves only the Y, and the Z moves only the Z. But if you wanna say like do the X and a Y, then what you do is press Shift Z, so you eliminate the Z axis, and now you're moving just in one plane. And this is what I mostly do when I don't want to like jump into like the top view all the time. So I just restrain it or constrain it to just two axes, just like this. Alt Z to access the X-ray, and double clicking on G will slide it on the same edge. Okay, everything is working fine, the connection is fine. All right, let's do our daily hour of stream on this Moped. Hopefully we'll get more done today. Yesterday was a good stream. We ended up doing all of this, which was more than I expected. Control X. I think I want to remove this and I want to slide this a bit down. It's a bit too much information for what I'm trying to do right now. I'm still at the blocking phase, so I don't want to have all of this like data right now. Okay, it looks weird from the back. So 7 to go into the top view. Alt Z to access the X-ray. Just make sure that I'm seeing properly. R to rotate. G to move. G to move. Alt Q to jump in the same mode. So if you're in edit mode and you want to select another object, you just hover your cursor on top of it and press Alt Q. So if you don't want to go tab, then select, then tab, you just go Alt Q. You're in the same mode. This works also with sculpting mode. So if you're in sculpt mode, let's say you're sculpting this piece, press Alt Q, and then you are in this piece. A lot of shortcuts. Blender has a lot of shortcuts. So maybe since I'm in sculpt mode and I'm using the grab tool, maybe I'm gonna take advantage of that and shape things quicker. All right, this is looking fine for now. So next I want to work on these, the shock absorbent and this section. So what I'm assuming is happening in here is that we have some sort of a metal tube going down, then combining somewhere underneath this cap into two, and then you have the shock absorbent connected to it here and on the other side, and then these are connected to the wheel hubs or like just to the wheels, actually, not to the tires. So, and then when you turn this, you basically turn that, and this turn both of these two. So why am I thinking about all of this stuff? First, this means that this part here, as you can see, there is something like this. It's a bit bigger to fit all of this mechanism inside of it. Okay, so this has to be kind of wide, and this is how you turn on the mirror in edit mode. Okay, so Ctrl R, add more information, add that just for selection purposes. Then I turn it back off just because I cannot see actually clearly what I'm doing if I have it. And add that left view or right view or whatever side view. So yeah, let's keep this straight. So I'm assuming if this has some sort of an opening in it for this to pass. I'm not gonna do it right now. Maybe we'll do it if we feel like it should be done. We'll see. Okay, I think I need a new mouse. I've been saying this for a couple of times now. Okay, I want to select these, the parts that are inside. See. Okay, forget it. Just not working for me right now, so let's just move on to something else. Top view. All right. Alt Z just to understand what's happening, and then you have this internal part showing, just hide it. And I think we need to enable some sort of a merge because these weren't merging, I guess. Yeah, and this is outside, this should go inside on the X. All right, that's looking good. So let's do Shift a cylinder, scale it by 90%, so 0.1. That's still too big. Let's scale it by 50%. That's still too big. That's another 50%. I think it's still too big. Where is it? Okay, I think my cursor should Shift S and cursor toward origin. Yeah, this is why somehow I think when so Shift right click, you move the cursor wherever you want, so you can create objects wherever you want, or maybe you can align stuff to the cursor and or maybe object transform. I think there should be like some sort of an align tool that I don't really know about. Let's see if we can find something. Right now on stream, trying to learn something new. Okay. No. Selection to cursor, there is nothing that says object to cursor or move object to cursor. I'm pretty sure there is. I've never seen it before. Snap to grid, selection. Oh, selection to cursor. Oh, that's cool. So it's is it on the Shift C, Shift S, selection to grid, selection to act. Oh, it's 8. Yeah, that's cool. So Shift S, selection to cursor. See what I mean? Like we're learning here. And that's fine because, so like if you want to align this to the middle of this, first of all, what you do is tab A, I think, or you don't need to do all of that, just set origin to geometry. So now you're sure that the origin is at the center, then you do Shift S. You can say cursor to selected, and then you can say selection to cursor. And now this is centered. At least the origin of this object is centered with the origin of this object using the cursor, and then you can just do Shift S and cursor toward origin just to move it out of the way. Okay, we can keep it in here just to make sure that it's aligned with the middle. So let's do 0.5. Let's rotate it a bit, or maybe before rotating it, let's just scale it up for now. Let's Alt S, let's move these stuff up, and let's rotate it. I think we need more rotation. So let's move it on the X, outside. Let's try to understand what's happening in here. So yeah, like you have, this is kind of bigger, then it goes smaller. Then you have some sort of a different shape completely that's holding the hub of the wheel. We're not gonna worry much about all of this right now. Again, this is just a sketch, but it should be a bit to the outside like this, and it should be rotated to fit inside this, and then you have that. So even if you're just doing a sketch, so the sketch is about the line quality, the texture quality, and the style. But you can still be a bit accurate when it comes to the placement of stuff, because that will give it a bit more details, and these kind of details in sketches are actually important. They give a lot of character and realism, even though if just a sketch, like they give it a bit more of a, I don't know, at least for me. I like it a bit more. Like you can completely deconstruct the whole thing, and it can work. I've seen it working before. you don't have to abide by anything. So once you know how to do it properly, you can actually break it. So know the fundamentals first and then break them, that's fine. Okay, let me do something here. I know I jump around a lot. I think that's the ADHD. But that's how I function, so I'm okay with it. Alright. So this kind of make a bit more sense like this. Let's move to sculpt. It's faster to do this in sculpt mode. Let me check. Okay, someone is asking for a poll. Just a second, I'm sorry. I stream during the day and I work, so sometimes some clients actually ask me to do stuff. Just making sure that everything's working. Okay. All right. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. That's fine. Anyway, I don't think anybody's buffering at this point, so that's fine. So no one is suffering from this sculpt mode. And that's what's nice about the sculpt mode is that like you're shaping the whole thing, not just a point by point. Sure. Smooth things out. Smooth things a bit in here. And then let's take this vertex and zero it out. Let's check all of these. So what we can do is just select these vertices, scale on the X by 0, and then 0 everything at the same time. Okay, backsplash to, or front slash I think. To unhide everything. Let's save. Let's get back to this. So let's make sure that it's looking fine. I think we need to scale it a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Looking good now. I think we need to cut it here and here. So we can have this part. So we can have this part, the chrome part and the black part, and the part that's actually connected to the wheel is a bit different, where you have like some sort of a, I don't know if you can see it in here. Let me see if my head's in the way. No. So you have this that's kind of more like that. We're not gonna be as accurate. Maybe I'll sculpt it quickly just to smooth things out and just to make it look a bit more realistic. Or maybe maybe I'm gonna just plug things and we'll see. Okay, so Control Tab mode, Control R. Okay, two of these. Let me. Should we scale it on the Z for them to, yeah, like this. Okay, so something like this. Let me isolate this so I can see what I'm doing. Select the faces. let me do another Z and then select the faces so I can select everything. Let me do a control, or is it just a P? It's just a P. So I'm separated this part. Now, if we scale this, it's gonna scale from the origin, which I don't know if this is the best idea, but that's fine. So scale it on the Z. Yeah, it's not the best idea, but that's fine. Let's scale it up, move it on the Z. I'm pretty sure there's a better way to do that. I'm just not aware of it right now. So now we need to fill this. Yeah. And I think we should add another one in here and another one in here and another one somewhere in here. I'll Z, 3 for the faces, C for selection, and scale. Are we scaling from the medium point or from the individual? What if it's just the active element? Medium point is the difference. I don't think it matters in this case. They're all doing the same thing. So let's just scale, or maybe scale on the local X and Y. Scale on the local X and Y twice. Yeah. And I'm not sure if this is gonna show. Let's insert this. Come on. Okay, why? Why are we suffering from this? And then let's extrude, not like this, let's extrude along the normals because this is rotated. And now we have this part which is kind of tilted. So now the challenge is, I don't know how to. Okay, let me try to just go to edit mode, select that face. It needs to rotate around a certain axis, not the X. It's not, even though yeah, we're killing the form. Okay, maybe if we add some more geometry and then we rotate this around the Y, then we got to the sculpt mode. I'm pretty sure there's a better way. 100% sure there's a better way. Okay, let's do a scale again. Maybe on the Y and the X. Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit more convincing actually. And then let's move on to let's bevel it. But before beveling it, I think we should apply all transforms to deltas so we can keep the origin where we want it to be. The bevel is behaving weirdly. What should we do? Is it an offset? Is it the width? Is it depth? It's not, doesn't really matter. Just checking if there is something I can do. So this has to do with the segments. Where do you place your segments? Just want to make sure that if I can... Okay, I think you know what I mean. Is it a patch? Is it an arc? Is it an arc? Is it a patch? No. Keep it sharp. Cut off or grid fill. Affected. It doesn't really matter. Okay, let's undo. Doesn't really matter. So maybe let me see if I insert. Man, why are you so sensitive? 0.2, 0.5. No, 0.3 maybe. Edge raids. There's depth to this. Yeah. Okay. This kind of makes a bit more sense. And now if we bevel this, okay, that's looking better. Again, I'm not trying to recreate this by any means. I'm just adding some details. So if you look at it, like if you just hide all the extras, so it's just like there's something there. That's it. That's the whole idea. Okay, so let's do the mirror. Generate mirror. Select this as the mirroring angle or mirroring point. Again, generate mirror and pick this. So we now have the shock absorbance. Let's duplicate this thing. Let's select that object and Shift S, since we learned it just right now. Cursor to selected, Shift S, selection to cursor. Now this dude is perfectly aligned with this. I haven't checked how to do any of these. I should have. I didn't. I'm sorry. That's fine. Alright, let's try just to do some basic forms for now. So, tab, insert for the first trim. 0.01 maybe? 0. Okay, so something like this. Yeah, that works. Let's go back to the wireframe. Let's scale this by a bit. So this is the first trim. Let's do it, the inner one. Let's insert. For some reason, the accuracy of this file is a bit off. I don't know why. And let's scale this on the X to the inside. Yeah, something like this. I'm hoping that Shift, not Control. For some, like somehow, these will be at the right number. Yeah, cool. We're fine. It's all been planned from the beginning. Not. All right, so let's do 1, 2. Anyways, doesn't really matter. Right now, it doesn't really matter. Wait, what? Oh, okay. I messed up in here. So I don't know if it has to be an odd number or an even number for this to work for you, like not to have like some sort of faces that are next to each other. But it just worked out, so why not? So we delete the faces. I know this is not this. I know like there should be some better way. That's for another day. Okay, I pressed 1. So now back to tab. I don't even know how the wheels look actually. I'm pretty sure they're not that deep. And also I'm pretty sure that it shouldn't be done this way. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep it like this just for sure at this point, and we're gonna move on to something else. I'm gonna check some better ways. Let's not waste, like, I still maybe have like 30 minutes of streaming. Let's not waste it on doing something stupid. All right, let's first delete this. Let's move the cursor to selection. Let's shift D these guys. Let's do selection to cursor and selection to cursor. Okay, maybe we don't need this guy. Shift S, selection to cursor, just to make sure that everything's fine. Like, is it? I'm curious. Is it like pins on each side, or is it connected? I don't know. Or is it just like one? I think it's just one thin line in the middle. Because here it looks as if it's only to one side, not to two sides. Moped wheels. Let's see. Like, there are different styles. So if you look at this, it looks as if it is to one side now. Let's do this search together. All right, where is my OBS just to see? Okay, so this is too big. All right, so if you check this, it seems as if it's on one side, not on both. Like even this one, it's a bit small. Or maybe is it in the middle? I guess it's in the middle. Yeah. Because we can finish this right now by just making a decision. Okay, so this is a wheel where you cannot see it from two sides. When you can see the wheel from two sides, it is usually in the middle. So this is a scooter wheel that's more tilted to one side. This is completely in the middle. Okay. Decision made. That's gonna be in the middle. So what we're gonna do first is go to faces and Alt-Z, select these guys on both sides, and we're gonna detach them. there's the face in here. Let's delete it. That's fine. Then we're gonna scale. Bro, we're gonna scale. My man, we're gonna scale. This on X. Like this. Alright. Then we need to connect these. Alright. And maybe what we should do is scale this a bit to the inside as well. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna split this in two so it will be symmetrical and we don't have to do our work twice. Okay, so we need to cut inside of this as well. 3 for faces, C for the selection thingy, and let's go to generate and mirror on the X and the Z axis, and let's clip and merge. Okay, then again we need to go back to the tab and this guy, move it out a bit on the X-axis. Just trying to understand a bit more what's happening in here. Okay. Let me have another look. So this is where that shock absorbent is connected actually. This is like the big wheel bearing or something like this, I think. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. So alright, so let's do this. So it's one. I'm pretty sure there's an easier way, but we're on this now. Let's finish it and get done with it. I think if we do like one design of this, and you can just do the align and rotate it around the hub. Let me try this out. Let's shift D this, since we're just turning together in here. Alright, so let's take this guy, for example. Doesn't really matter. Let's do a P selection. So now we have this guy on this axis. If we do an align or an array, sorry, and it has to be okay. It has to fit something. Alright. So I'm mixing between what I know in Remax and what I know here. So this is offsetting, but it should also rotate. So this is on, and I think for this to happen, there should be another bevel boolean mirror multi-res, no, of course not the screw. Of course not the screw, but I'm gonna try it out regardless. Yes, gonna happen. There should be an offset, I think. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Nope, not the screw. It should be the array, but it should be the array on a path. And I don't know if it is like a curve, something. Mm-hmm. Anyways. But anyways, you can do something like even if you move the array, you can do Shift D or and you can do maybe repeat last, which is Shift R. You can do it like this. Okay. Let's keep this for another day. Let's just finish this like this. You know what? I'm sorry, I'm doing this live. But this is how I actually work in real life. So there's nothing really fancy about what we do. We're just trying to figure things out. This way looks a bit silly. So let's at least do something that's a bit more sophisticated in terms of look. So let's select all of these at that. Select all of these guys and let's delete them. Then let's take this shape. Let's try to first fill the edges. Then let's scale this on the X like that. Let's add another one here. Let's scale this one on its Y-axis, or is it the X-axis? Maybe it's that axis. All right, let's try to okay. And it looks a bit too much. Let's scale it on the X one more time. Scale on the X by a tiny little bit. I pressed the wrong key. Let's take the edges. The bevel is acting super weird, even if I'm transforming. Maybe because I'm applying to deltas. I'm not sure. Let me try it both ways. So this is a bevel. It's still acting weird. So if I apply, go object, apply all transforms, and then if now I do the bevel, yeah, it's working better. So it is the two deltas thing that's messing it up. Okay, understood. But the thing is with the delta stuff is that you lose your origin, but that's fine. You can maybe add an empty and then get it back later on. That's okay. But I don't. Yeah. So like I need my rotation point to be from this. So what I can do is just Shift S, cursor to selected, and I can just rotate from the cursor. So, Shift D. Is it if we do a link and rotate. Okay. 30%. Now if I move, since I did the link thing, will it be linked? Yeah, okay, perfect. So the rotation of this is 34 degrees. Let's delete it. I think it's Alt D where you do already a linked thingy. That's interesting. I'm just gonna wing it, to be honest. So Alt D, rotate, Alt D, rotate, Alt D, and rotate it. Shift S, cursor to selected, and this, let's work. Let's move all of this. Selection. Okay, so it's collapsing. So what we should do is Ctrl J, Shift S, selection to cursor. Yeah. Let's unhide. Let's add Z. Okay. It does look weird. Let's scale it a bit on the X to beef it up. Let's select these guys, L, or maybe let's just select one. Okay. Shift L. Shift L. Let's delete those. Let's separate this. Let's scale it up and then move it back inside. Or instead of scaling it up this way, let's scale it. Let's see, select everything, scale. And then maybe let's keep this. Okay. So I'm trying to make these a bit bigger because they look too thin. And since I decided to follow this design. Okay. So I'll rotate maybe this much. Yeah. I should have watched this tutorial. No. Thinking about it. And rotate. So maybe we can just get this one, adjust a little bit the rotations. So this looks a bit more believable. If we go to the render options, turn on ambient occlusion, and go to the render settings. So as you can see, you're already starting to get something. Why did I lose my... Are we still online? All right. Connection is back. So as you can see, in terms of a sketch, it's already looking cool. Like even this is looking fine. These small details do make a difference, so don't ignore them. Wireframe. All right. Let's delete this. Yeah, let's delete this. Let's finish the wheel hub thingy. So selection isolate, and let's do edit edges. We should fill these and then just, is it shift F, control F, control F, grid fill? No. Trying to, like, you watch a lot of tutorials and I'm trying to see if I can make it work. Now live. It's not, it's okay though. So let's split this in half for the same concept of doing just one side. So 3, 1, 3, C, select these X faces, object mode, go to the modifiers tab, and mirror on the Z. Yeah, that's what we did the last time. Then tab, inset by whatever. Then shift R to insert again, but this time make it a bit smaller. Then move this a bit to the outside, a little bit to the outside. Then shift R, no, not shift R, let's insert. Let's extrude this time. Let's unhide everything. Alright, it's looking fine. Let's move it backwards at the, okay, at the G on the X. Alright, let's insert again, move it outside on the X, not on the Z. Insert again and extrude, not rotate, not rotate. Alright, clumsy hands. And this is it. That's your motorcycle. Let's do some backup. Let's see what's gonna happen. Should we add cavity? Yeah, of course we should. Should we add? The outlines are cool. The shadows are cool. We can do some sort of a black background or a white background. Yeah, let's do white background. So, this is the flat. This is what we end up actually doing. So we're maybe gonna extract this stuff from the shader, and we're gonna paint most of it. So it's gonna be mostly flat with some procedural information. It's looking dope for now. Okay. Like, we can add later these kind of stuff. It will add to it. It will add something nice to it. But for the time being, I want to focus a bit on the back side. So let's take all of this. Okay, let's first move the cursor to select Shift S, cursor to selected. I do want to keep these without joining them. So what I'm gonna do is, let's see, if we do Shift S, selection to cursor. Okay, it worked this time. I don't know why the last time it didn't. Maybe it was something that I did. Probably it was something that I did by mistake. Alright. Fine. Let's move this inside. Now what? Now the exhaust. I still have 10 minutes. It's not a complicated piece. It's not like the wheels or the tires, which I totally failed, by the way. Oh, I forgot to take this. Shift D, Shift S, selection to person. Yeah. So I think I want to do the exhaust, but first I want to have some different references for this. So let's see. Exhaust. So the thing is, whenever you search this kind of stuff, they usually show you the weird stuff, not the actually normal reference stuff. So for some reason the exhaust seems to be attached to the wheel. Yeah, I think this is some sort of a electrical, I don't know what they call it in English. I think they call it the dynamo, maybe. Okay, so let's have a different look. So the exhaust is coming somewhere from the inside of the engine, of course, and connected to the wheels. So is it a different size of wheels between the front and the back? I don't know if on a scooter it's different. On a big bike it is. They're not the same wheel size. Oh look, I need to see a back of a motorcycle. It seems kind of wider. Maybe I'm mistaken, but this is what I'm like. This is what I feel. This looks a bit more similar to what we're working on. Yeah. I like this detail also. You know what? Let's just clean this up a bit more. This should be on the zero. Sur le zéro. So I have a weird accent between Arabic and French education. All right. Let's have another look. Okay, so this one has like some extensions that we don't have, but we can still add the small tail that will have the license plate later and the exhaust. Okay, so let's try to put this one out. So first, let's Shift D the whole thing. Let's go select these, or maybe just this face, Control I, X, delete all the faces, object mode, and then tab one, and voila, we have this right now. But this seems a bit more to the back. Let's ask, are the wheels or the tires maybe of a scooter different? This question should be for ChatGPT. Size between the front and the back. You'll notice that for most models, especially the scooter, the front and the rear sides are often not the same. Specifically, the front wheel usually has a larger diameter. The front wheel has an oval, but the width of the tire is narrower than the rear wheel. So the back wheel is bigger in terms of width. Okay. So it's not bigger. It's just different. So if I do this, it will look weird. But it is bigger like this. Which kind of look cool. Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shorten the whole thing. So my dog decided that she wants to play with me right now. And if we go back to this, you see that this is tilted a bit more, like the inside. So I think I'm gonna do this here. So that's the beauty of working with low polys, is that you can still make big changes to the design and shapes, even when you're like pretty much into it and like into the project. Let's go to sculpt mode for this one. And let's put things up. And then let's move this back inside. Yeah, because it was too far out. And let's work on that tip that we talked about. Smoothing the whole thing. Yep. And then this part, or maybe let's do it in edit mode. Should be a bit more like this to accommodate for this piece in here. That's cooler. Let's go to edit mode. Let's push that whole thing to the front, just to bring back what we lost in terms of proportions for the seat, because this can be smaller, but this has sometimes to sit 2 people. Sometimes I've seen like 3 or 4. So it cannot be small. But this is just where you sit. I don't know where my dog is. Hearing some weird sounds. Okay. Let's do another Shift D for this. Body object. Let's do another tab. Let's select these 2 faces. Let's inverse. Delete object or edit. Let's Control R. Control R. Let's isolate. Just so we can see what we're doing. Let's delete these and let's extrude that to the outside. And let's delete these 2 faces. And scale on the X to be 0. And just trying to recreate this. And then Yep. We only have the exhaust left, but I'm out of time, so next time we're gonna do the exhaust and we're gonna start painting it, I think, and I'm gonna see if we can add some details in grease pencil, maybe off stream if I have the time. I'm gonna do some cleanups, maybe for this edge, it's so sharp. Maybe I'm gonna separate a bit more the pieces so we can have different textures for it. We'll see, but in terms of sketch, that's more than enough. Just need the exhaust to add a little bit more of realism and just to hide these extensions for the wheel hubs, but we need to have something in here anyway. Alright, anyway, thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. First, let's end the stream.